You have tuned in to the greatest podcast in Payne County, run by celibate priests. This is the Pastors of Payne, Father Kerry Wakulich, the pastor of St. John Catholic Student Center, and I'm here with I'm not sure what to call these people.
It's
over
a full
here.
house today, people. Father Brian O'Brien here, and I'm joined by the Associate Pastor of Payne, Father Robert Duck.
Hello, hello, hello. It's good to be here. It's finally, after so many months of being in Stillwater, I finally get to be a part of the Pastors of Payne.
We finally gave him the invite.
Podcast.
Yeah. Whoa, invite? I was
the Pastors of Payne. We'd have to change the name.
The parochial vicar
and
the
logo,
pastors.
The Associate Pastor of Payne.
I get it. No respect. I was like Father Rodney Dangerfield. It's like, I don't get no respect.
Very nice.
Father Rodney Dangerfield. Brilliant. Well,
for anyone under the age of 50, Rodney Dangerfield was in fact, we're all under 50, but you have to Google him.
What was your favorite? Do you have a favorite Rodney Dangerfield movie?
Back to School.
Oh my gosh, the trip.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Back to School was like pure.
Is that the one
comedy.
where he had who was the famous author of Cat's Cradle?
Yeah, Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah.
Oh no!
And then he get a C on his own essay of his book.
Yeah.
The triple ending was that?
Yeah, he does the big dive.
Like he bounces to the other diving board.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So we're recording this. Today is Wednesday. So if you didn't know, I know we say this every once in a while. We are not a live show.
Sorry, Mrs.
We're
O'Hara.
recording this Wednesday. So tonight is Game 7 of the World Series.
Oh.
So I wanted to come on. My hope was we would be able to come on today and I would be able to proclaim the Houston Astros as world champions for the second time in 3 years. But the game's tonight, so I can't.
I love
do
the
that.
sound effects we make around here.
So either, man, I'm so thrilled that the Astros are world champions, or wow, what a disappointing series.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That was it so far has been pretty wild series. Because
the road team won every game.
I know. And
until the Game 7 when the Astros won, maybe.
We have no idea. Wow. This is exciting times.
What is exciting, liturgically, we always try to give sort of people a little liturgical update. So November 1st was All Saints.
Oh, Holy Day of Obligation.
Holy Day of Obligation. I hope you went to Mass. If you didn't,
find a confession line.
Find a confessor. And then, anyway, so we want to talk a little bit about saints today.
Oh.
Do you have Father Robert? Do you have a favorite saint?
I do. I have a favorite saint. It's the name of our rectory, Saint Joseph.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Tell us more.
Saint Joseph, maybe an obscure saint. You may have heard of him. But, he's the foster father of Jesus, our Savior.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it never says a word in the gospel, but his role is pivotal in salvation, and it's just he's my confirmation saint. I chose Joseph as my confirmation patron.
Whoa. Right on.
It's just been a real figure of holiness to me. Patron saint of fathers, patron saint of the Universal Church, patron saint of carpenters, which I'm not, but he nevertheless is a great inspiration to me.
I would just like to pause for a second and notice something about the introduction of Father Robert Duck today. The vocabulary level increased substantially using the word pivotal.
Pivotal, that's a normal word.
You and I have never used the word pivotal.
I use that word all the time.
I doubt it.
Just not with you because I know you won't understand. Father Robert does have a good solid vocabulary.
Yeah. As a sandwich artist at Subway, is that where?
No, former sandwich artist at
Former.
Subway. Yeah, that's where I had my conversion. Was making sandwiches.
Whoa, so you are kind of a carpenter. You had to get out a knife and saw Subway sandwiches.
Especially when that bread is a day old, it feels like a piece of stuff. But it's nice and soft when it's baked fresh. But after about 24 hours, it's hard as a brick.
So we just we told you we moved into our new rectory about 2 weeks ago now, and one of the things we're doing is we're naming every room. There's 6 rooms in the rectory, and we're naming each room. And we decided that whoever lives in the room first gets to name their room. So this is what actually got this conversation started. So my favorite saint, I have many favorite saints. I love St. Joseph. I love John Paul II. But my room in the rectory is going to be known as St. Damien of Molokai, who is pretty famous. He's on the liturgical calendar. He's a pretty well-known story. Father Carey is naming his room.
Whoa! I've changed my name.
You did not.
Yeah, I did.
We've already ordered signs.
Oh, I'm sorry, I changed it.
I'm just kidding. We haven't ordered.
Okay, whew. Knowing you,
What's
you
your
probably.
new one?
So I decided, since I live on the second floor, and I have this.
Luca?
What? Huh?
My name is Luca.
Not that song.
never mind. Okay.
Not that song, please. And it looks out on, the city of Stillwater. But also there's like 150 acres of woods behind us as well. That I was going to name mine after a great saint. I think.
We've not heard this. Father Robert and I are
this is
staring at him
Breaking news.
in anticipation.
I know. Saint Simeon the Stylite. Do y'all know who Simeon the Stylite is?
Yeah.
I've heard of him, but I don't know much about him. I couldn't tell you anything about him.
Like stylites are these people that would live in a basket, on a tree, or on a post way up in the air, and they would give great advice to people. And so that is, I think, what I'm going to use. I have a sort of a balcony. I can become like the whole
pontificate from the balcony.
I probably will to the squirrel like
Don't
Francis.
they stay up there? Didn't Simeon the Stylite? He went up on top of this pole and stayed there.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you just going to stay upstairs?
I think I'm going to quit my job and just stay up on the back patio and preach to
I have to cover for you again.
Since he was a hermit, he was also pretty quiet. Which,
I will be doing.
It's all coming out.
I'll be doing a little of that, a little hunting from the back patio.
So is that really what you're going to name your room?
I don't know. Send me the
You have
Stylite.
1 week.
Whoa.
1 week, and then we're nailing this thing down.
Seriously?
Because you were gonna do Andre Bisset.
Oh,
And Andre
wow.
Bisset.
I mean, that's like a family saint. That's my great-grandfather's first cousin, which is pretty awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, you got 1 week.
let's hope holiness runs in the family.
yeah, lightning does strike twice in some places.
So
I'm
then-
on the road.
So I sent this email out to Father Carey and to Father Robert. Hey, what do you want to name your rooms? Because we have 6 rooms. So we each were going to name the room we're living in, and then we'd have, maybe a little powwow and figure out the other ones. So Father Robert rolls in with a saint that I've never heard of, and he tells us It tells us the story of this awesome saint, and I was totally blown away, and I was like, "That's awesome. We need to do a show about obscure saints."
What was it? Saint Droga of Belgium, the patron of unattractive people? Is that what it is?
No. So anyway, so what we want to do is, in honor of all saints, is tell you about some of our favorite obscure saints. Okay, Father Robert.
So
give us the scoop.
yeah, my room is going to be named after Saint Nicholas Owen of the Society of Jesus.
Who?
He was an English saint, a lay Jesuit, who was a kind of a man of smaller stature. He was kind of formerly known as Little John. I don't know why.
The rapper?
Yeah.
Little John?
But I guess John is short for Nicholas. But he has actually kind of an amazing story. So when you asked me who do I want to name my priest room after, he was actually the first one that came to mind because he was a saint who was martyred in Elizabethan England in, I think, 1606. And what he did was he was a carpenter who made little what they called priest holes, priest rooms, where Catholic families would hide priests during the persecution of Catholics in England.
Like Edmund Campion.
So he knew him personally. Like he was
Really?
He was he saw Edmund Campion as kind of his mentor.
Whoa, Campion's awesome. He wrote that brag. He was locked in the tower.
Yeah.
And those dudes were being strung up from ship masts in the ports, right?
Yeah, so Nicholas Owen was martyred in the Tower of London by being held up by chains. He was martyred in the most kind of gruesome of ways. He had a hernia. He had a kind of a lame leg that was due from a horse falling on him. But despite these handicaps, he was a master carpenter who would, move through bricks and wood. And he would always work under the cover of night. And the only person who would ever know where this priest hole is Nicholas Owen and the house owner. So a lot of people believe that a lot of the rooms that he built have still not been discovered because he was so creative in building these little cubby holes for priests to stay.
Okay, describe one to us, because I've heard that you can like take a tour of these priest hidden rooms in people's homes throughout England.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like where we get like the candle at Christmas. Like you can put the candle up in the window, right? Is that right?
That might be related to. I'm not quite sure on that.
Like this is a place where a priest could come to celebrate Mass.
Yeah, that could have been a signal to those who were kind of passerbys that they could find Mass in this home in persecuted England. But Nicholas Owen, he would do these kind of. He'd find the most creative ways to hide these rooms behind cupboards, under floorboards, and they weren't spacious. I mean, my room is far bigger than what any of these priest holes are, but he did it in the most creative way, and he'd often sometimes do an easier to find, smaller kind of cubby hole, and then behind that would actually be the priest room. So if people broke in and say, oh, they pulled back the bookcase, they would see this empty kind of cubby hole, like, oh, the priest must not be here. But in actuality, he would be behind the wall in the real priest hole. It's like he was just a genius in this way. But anyway, he was arrested once. Finally, he was ultimately released because they found him to be of kind of no consequence.
They just didn't know what he was doing.
They didn't know who he was, and a Catholic family had paid a fine to have him released. So he continued his work. His name got bigger. He became more widely known. Finally arrested again. He gave himself up voluntarily to distract the arresting officers from the fact that there's two other priests nearby. So he gave himself up.
Really?
To protect two priests, so the sacraments could be continued on in England.
Because you said he was a lay Jesuit brother.
Yeah, he was a lay brother, and he joined the Jesuits even after he had already been kind of a master carpenter. He met Edmund Campion, I think, later in life, and saw him as kind of a mentor and joined the Society of Jesus.
Well, yeah, Campion's Brag is that document he wrote. If you go out and just Google Campion's Brag and read it, and you can get an idea of what was going on in Elizabethan England. Yeah. I mean, these guys were like going over to mainland Europe to be trained as priests, right? They were part of the Society of Jesus.
There's the Venerable English College in Rome, which is called Venerable. It's the only seminary in Rome that's called Venerable because its first seminarians, they knew that once they go back to England to be priests, they'd be more than likely martyred. And sure enough, I think the first 20 or so seminarians that graduated from the Venerable English College were martyred.
Oh, no way.
Like late 1500s,
early
1600s in England. Wow. I just read, because I don't know anything about St. Nicholas Owen until Father Robert brought him up 2 weeks ago. He is the patron saint of illusionists and like escape artists.
Yeah.
Like a Houdini kind of, like, because he could make all these things. That's awesome.
Yeah,
what a great story.
He helped someone escape from the Tower of London, or it's believed that he was the kind of the mastermind behind this escape from the Tower of London. But it is a fascinating story, fascinating saint. And not a lot of people know about him. He was canonized in 1970 by St. Paul VI, with the 70 English martyrs or 70 martyrs of England and Wales, as they call it.
Whoa!
So he's one of 70 that were kind of grouped together. Edmund Campion being among them.
And then how did he die? He was
racked, basically, which means he was held up by chains, gauntlets around his hands, and they put this like metal plate or something on his chest, which caused, when pressure is applied, it caused his hernia to burst and his intestines fell out. You asked. I don't want to go there, but
yeah, like Campion. Like the story of Campion is like they put a hook in his guts and pulled his intestines out, and then someone like rode off with him, and then they like cut him into pieces.
Sorry, parents whose children are listening currently. Sorry about that.
Yeah, they cut him to pieces.
The way it goes, though.
They cut him to pieces and like threw him out into the ocean. And like,
when he was arrested the first time, he was tortured, but he never gave up anybody's name. And then finally, when he was arrested the second time, he was continually tortured, never gave up a name, and gave his life up for it.
Come on, Jesuits of modern era, take some lessons from the venerable English.
That's amazing.
Yes.
St. Nicholas Owen. Okay.
Yeah. Pray for us.
Wow. Wow. All right. What do you got over there?
I already gave you. I already gave you my list.
No. You had some random.
I did, and you like
patron saint of ugly people.
Saint Drago of Belgium.
How did he become the patron saint of ugly people?
Yeah.
I have no idea. When we were in
man or a woman?
Saint Drogo is a dude.
Okay.
You don't know? You've never heard of Saint
Drogo?
I didn't like him when he killed Carl Weathers. I don't know. What's
Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed. Yeah, you can't just kill Apollo Creed and expect me to like you. Is he like St. Paul who killed people and then became a saint?
No, Saint Drogo is Flemish.
What about this? He was on steroids. You can't be on steroids and become a saint.
Saint Drogo is a Belgian. This past year, when we did our pilgrimage through Belgium, Luxembourg, France, Germany, and the Netherlands, I had the students, they had to go through all the saints of Belgium and the surrounding area, mostly Belgium, and find a patron saint. And one of the girls, Erin Wood, it was Saint Drogo, the patron saint of ugly people. His feast day is April 16th.
Oh, that's good. Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to say my birthday. It's like, oh, that's an ominous patron.
And he's just a Flemish noble who was orphaned at birth and then became a hermit in this town of Drone. And so people would just come to him for advice. That's why I want to be a stylist.
Particularly ugly?
I'm not sure.
This is the way the church puts it. The patron of those whom others find repulsive. Instead of
unattractive people.
That's a broader umbrella.
Well, yes, I think there's a whole spectrum of stuff there that you could add to Saint Drogo.
So you're going to name your room after him?
No, I'm not.
He could buy locate.
Could he really?
Wikipedia says.
Whoa, that's pretty awesome. I'm going to go with Simeon the Stylite. But
you just went with Drogo.
No, I didn't.
The stylist?
Yes.
Saint of hairdressers.
Every morning I'm going to be doing my hair, whipping nay with this hair back.
All my friends at Every Man on Main Street, where I get my hair cut, you know?
Oh, you won't have to because I'll have a barber chair on the patio doing style.
You do our hair?
Yours is pretty easy. I just run a set of clippers over
Same
that.
haircut since 4th grade.
Really?
Generally.
I mean, that's like a 4 clipper, and is that it all over?
3 on the side, 4 on top. Takes about 7 minutes.
I know that's a really inexpensive haircut. Yeah.
That's slow. Yeah. Well, you gotta get the edges there.
Okay, so some other obscure saints. I went down a good list. Genesius.
Ooh, Genesius, the patron saint of actors?
Yes. And Bishop Kelly, they used to do this.
That's the only reason I know this.
I know. And they would say, St. Genesius. And then everybody would do some sort of weird noise. Pray for us.
They would say right before the show.
Yeah. But,
right before a musical at Bishop Kelly, the cast would get together and they would pray. And at the end, they would ask for the intercession of St. Genesius. Patron saint of actors.
What's his story?
I don't know.
St. Genesius?
You know the story?
No.
Oh.
I just came across it, and I started having flashbacks to Bishop Kelly stage performance and, like, going there in different sets and sitting in their classes over in the STC.
Yeah.
And just kind of, like, enjoying watching these kids perform on stage and act and run the lights and whatever. And I remembered all the time, I was like, when I saw it, I was like, St. Genesius. I was like, no.
What else you got over there?
Genesius of Rome, patron saint of comedians.
Oh, he's from Rome?
Yeah.
Where's he buried?
I don't know. Patron saint of comedians. Okay.
What else you got?
Saint Clotilde.
Oh, him?
Clotilde? The patron saint of disappointing children. As royalty, Clotilde's
My mom
children
prays to him every day.
fought endlessly and divided the kingdom. Saint
of discipline.
Elgius, the patron saint. Okay, ready? Okay, I'm going to give you options for the patron Eligius. Eligius is the patron saint of A, radio stations, which we're currently in, B, gas station workers, C, farm equipment managers, or D, space exploration peoples.
Is there all the above?
No.
Okay.
B.
What do you got?
I'm not going to say space exploration. I'm going to say radio station.
And what was B? I forgot.
I don't know.
Gas station workers. He was the patron of metalsmithing and horses, but then cars came, so there's that.
Oh. Okay. What else you got?
Then we got the I do.
Where's this from?
Okay, I can't tell you. It's a secret. It's a secret saint file I have of all these awesome saints I asked for help against you all. Okay, you ready?
How many saints are there?
Saint
How many
Hubert,
saints are
Saint
there?
Hubert of Liege,
Saint Hubert is the patron saint of hunters,
and
mathematicians,
rabies.
people with rabies.
Yes. So now I didn't know. I could never pronounce his name
Hubert is the patron saint of hunters. Yeah.
because Hubert is also
Hubert.
Hubert or Hébert. Remember, I had a wedding in Bruce Lee, Louisiana, of some Heberts. And I got down there and I read it and I said, I'm trying to find this town. I can't even get the name right. And the guy said, no, Father, you don't have a wedding in Bruce Lee, Louisiana of some Heberts. You have a wedding in Brew Lee, Louisiana of some A-Bears. And I was like,
It's really called Bruce Lee.
it's Brew Lee, Louisiana. It's right on the Mississippi. But I saw it,
Big kung fu.
Yeah.
and I was like, it's totally Bruce Lee.
Is there a town named after Bruce Lee?
He's very famous in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all the saints I got. I mean, there's lots of them.
Well, last year in our youth group, we were at St. Francis Xavier. We were coming up with names. I like to name stuff after saints.
I'm fully aware of that.
So we were going to name our youth center, which we still haven't done. And so there was a little survey that went around among the teenagers of what should we call the youth center. And the winner, by far, except that we're not going to do this, but it'll probably end up being a Stanley Rose.
Give me some options. Give me some options. Let me guess.
No, I'm just going to tell you the winner.
No.
The winner was Saint Longinus.
Oh, the Roman centurion.
Yes. So Longinus is one who I'm sure he has a feast day, but it's not like universally celebrated in the liturgical calendar. But what a great story! The soldier who was originally against Jesus, and then over the course of the last hours of Jesus' life, has this conversion
Yeah.
to become a disciple.
And the Stations of the Cross and the church kind of show that story.
Yes.
Of
So that's actually how I became familiar. I didn't really know the story.
Oh, he's the centurion in the Stations of the
But
Cross.
you
one of
come-
the two. Yeah.
Yeah, if you come to St. Francis Xavier and look at the Stations of the Cross, which are the 14 kind of paintings around the church that tell the story of the last hours of the life of Jesus before his death, there are these two soldiers, kind of one in gold, one in red. One, over the course of the 14 stations, one gets angrier and angrier and angrier. And one becomes a disciple. And it's meant to be, the artist who did him, whose name is escaping me at this moment, Leonard Porter, he meant it to be like that's us. So Jesus is who he is. Jesus is the way and the truth and the life. Jesus does not change. But we have options. We have free will, and you can either respond to Jesus, you can become his disciple, or you can turn away from him. Mm-hmm. And that's the two disciples. And Longinus, Saint Longinus, is the one who eventually says of the Lord, what's the line I'm looking for?
My Lord and my God.
Yeah, And at the very end, truly, this man was
Yes,
is the Son of God.
Right.
In the Scriptures.
Oh.
So he's my man. A little obscure, a funny name, but an awesome, awesome saint, and one I think we can all be inspired by.
I got one. So today is Wednesday. We're recording this Wednesday. Yesterday, Tuesday, was the feast day of Blessed Chiaro Badano. Badano, B-A-D-A-N-O.
Like a teenager, right?
Is that Badano? B-A-D-A-N-O? You speak Italian.
Yeah.
You speak the most Italian.
I would have to see it. But yeah.
Here you go, right there.
Oh, yeah.
Badano.
Yeah.
Okay,
Chiara
so
Badano.
Chiara Badano. And yeah, she's this young woman who dies in the. She's born in the middle 70s, 71. That's the early 70s.
We were born in the middle 70s.
I know.
Not me.
What year were you born?
1989.
Oh my gosh.
Gosh, what the heck?
Okay,
We're
so
old.
she dies in 1990 of this cancer that's just like ravaging her body and like taking it over. And she has all of these awesome, super beautiful quotes. Now, I warn you, like this is weird. Like I was giving a little like presentation on her, maybe a year ago, and I just started crying. I'm like, okay, this is weird. Why? So every time I've talked about her since then, I've like started crying because just go read about her. I'm not even going to talk about her.
Spell her name for us,
B-A-D-A-N-O.
Spell her first name.
Chiara, C-H-I-A-R-A, Chiara Badano. And she's got this great line. If I had to choose between walking again and going to heaven, I wouldn't hesitate. I would choose heaven.
Nice.
Other ones.
I love that she's a young
Yes.
person.
It's beautiful
How old
young
was
woman.
she when she died?
I think she was 17 and a half, getting ready to turn 18.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so her feast day,
Where's she buried?
she's buried somewhere in
In
Italia.
Italia?
Yeah, Italy. And
Wow.
yeah, I just find her just to be an incredible figure for our time. Sasaleno.
Sasaleo.
Sasaleo. Wow, there's Spanish coming into Italian.
Okay, so these are some awesome saints. Okay, in our last couple minutes here, Father Robert, tell us how have your first couple months been in Stillwater?
Terrible. No, it's been amazing. It's I can't believe how quickly the weeks go by, but it is a tremendous blessing to finally be back. And be back for good, where I'm not just here for 2 months like I was last year. I'm back for the foreseeable future. It's been fantastic getting to see the parishioners again, making new friends and meeting the new parishioners that have joined the parish since I left. I very much enjoyed being in Rome, but it was hard. It was hard. It was kind of a grieving period I had to go through because I had this amazing experience here in Stillwater, and I wasn't sure if I was going to come back, but the Lord does answer prayers, and here I am, sitting here.
What do you do all day?
Wait, hold on a second. Are you serious? You like prayed to come back here? You're like, I want to come.
I mean, I certainly was open to going wherever the bishop wanted to send me, but it was really hard not to set my heart on coming back. So it was. I'm very grateful for being here. To answer your question of what I do all day, I usually celebrate Mass. That's usually the highlight and most important thing I do each day. I also visit the hospitals. I go anoint the sick. I visit with people, various meetings around the church. I'm learning how to be an administrator from Father O'Brien. Father O'Brien, is that?
That's me.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah.
Hear confessions over at St. John's during Wednesday night Mass?
Yeah. Which I will be there tonight.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I was planning on it. Yeah.
Thank you.
If I'm not there, then people can say, like, you lied on the radio. But, it's you're hearing a lot of confessions. During Mass, usually the usual confession times on Wednesdays from 4:30 to 5:30.
5:30.
Or 5:30 to 6:30, excuse me. And then on Saturdays from 3:30 to 4:30.
3 to 4:30.
3 to 4:30.
He doesn't even
He's
know.
got it in his calendar.
And
I have it in
that's
my
the end
calendar.
of the show right there. If you can't
We're
remember.
so glad Father Robert could join us. And go look up some awesome saints because there are thousands upon thousands.
Happy November, y'all. Blessings.
God bless you.